Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Sit down, please. Good morning, ladies. My name is Munawar Wai, Director General of the Institute for Foreign Policy and Strategic Studies of the Republic Socialist of Sana. I'm very glad that we can gather here today to discuss the issue of Isla Island. Before we begin, I want to express that Sana would need both Taka and Baba to determine this issue calmly and the relationship between the two nations remains peaceful. Sana does not have any cases on the island of Isla and just take an interest in this meeting as mediatory, helping the two nations effectively achieve a last agreement. First, I'd like to introduce the representatives from the two countries in the meeting today. Ms. Winok Chamlain, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Taka, and Ms. Liu Fulai, Director General of the Department of External Relations on Trade and Finance. And from Baba, we have Ms. Do Quỳnh, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Baba, and Ms. Lê Hương Ly, Director General of the Department of External Relations on Trade and Finance. Before we begin, there are a few rules that I want to express here. The representatives of the two countries will discuss in a peaceful and respectful environment. No interruption ought to be made during an ongoing speech, and any offensive behaviors are not allowed during the negotiation. To begin, I'd like to invite the representative of Taka's delegation to present their opening statement.
First of all, on behalf of our delegation, I would like to express my thankfulness for the presence of Ms. Wai, Ms. Lee, and Ms. Nga, representatives of Baba in the meeting today. Before going into the negotiation, we hope that we will soon come to an agreement that satisfies both sides' interests and desire. There are certain points that I would like to declare in terms of sovereignty over Isla Island. Firstly, people of Taka have been fishing in the water around island Isla for thousands of years, and many people consider it as a fresh and peaceful place to take rest or just enjoy wonderful fruit. For that reason, Isla has for a long time been an essential element in not only our historical magnificence, but in our cultural value as well. Therefore, we are confident when saying that people of Taka have a full right of sovereignty over Isla Island. Secondly, fishing has played a vital role and significantly contributed to our economic development. In fact, about 30% of our total population depend mainly on fishery and regard fishing as the most important means of subsistence, especially in an abundant source of supply like Isla. Without Isla, along with the freedom to fish there, many of our population would be at risk of having no means to earn their livelihood, and our economy will obviously be threatened. And moreover, as I mentioned before, the people of Taka have always considered Isla Island to be ours. So the loss of Isla will drive people into extreme grievance due to loss of interest. So we, as representatives of public of Taka, would like to affirm our legality of owning the Isla Island.
Thank you for your opening statement. And now we would like to recap your arguments to make sure both parties understand each other. First of all, you mentioned that fishing is an important part of your economy, and your people have been fishing in the waters around Isla Island for thousands of years. Secondly, you said that deeply in Taka people's mind, Isla Island is considered to be a part of your territory. And the last thing you mentioned is that losing the islands means you lost the freedom to fish, negatively affect your national economy, which is a serious blow to the people of Republic of Taka. And next is our opening statement presented by Ms. Nga.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor for us to be here today. We, representatives from the Kingdom of Baba, would like to express our goodwill to negotiate the dispute between Taka and Baba about Isla Island. First of all, as you may aware, the people of the Kingdom of Baba are very religious. Visiting temples on special occasions of the year or in traditional festival play a very important part in our life. There is a large number of temples in every different parts in our country. However, Temple of Isla Island is known as one of the most sacred places in our country. Secondly, let me introduce more about the temple on Isla Island. This temple was built by Baba people about 500 years ago. We have enough historical documents to prove that our ancestor has built the temple on the island. Moreover, we can obviously notice that the temple belongs to us because of its features on construction. This temple presents our country cultures and tradition. Every year, thousands of people from Baba travel by boat to the temple as a tradition. We strongly believe that Isla Island is a part of our own home where our ancestors have lived there. That leads us to my main point. We regret that the Isla Island is our island because of its very important to every people in our country. Any attempts on the islands may be a dire blow to our country in the future. In our negotiation today, we would like to show that we really appreciate our relation with Taka and we desire to have a peaceful agreement. So we are willing to listen and negotiate until the agreement satisfies both of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nga. Before we proceed, I'd like to summarize some key main points that you have made in your oral statement. Please let me know if we missed anything. First, we understand that it is also your own interest to reach an agreement that satisfies the both parties. Just like our Taka, you also hope to continue to promote our good diplomatic relations in the future. And second, the temple built on Isla Island are considered to be of great importance to the people of Baba. As Baba people are very religious, they visit the temples on Isla Island very often. And finally, you believe that the Isla Island to be a significant part of your own country. That's what I could recap from your opening statement.
Thank you for your opening statements. Now I will discuss these issues in detail. Please start with the viewpoints from Taka representatives.
Thank you, Ms. Mai. And now I would like to start. As we have said, looking back to history of thousands of years ago, we can see that our ancestors have fished there for a long time. So we believe that we have lawfulness to claim the sovereignty over Isla Island. Due to close relationship between the two countries, our ancestors decided to allow Baba's people to build temple on the island to pursue their religious life. However, in the recent time, Baba's people, as well as tourists, visit the temple more frequently, resulting in serious impact on the environment around Isla and our fishing activities. So we regret to say that we have no alternative but to refuse Baba's people access to the island.
Thank you. As I have mentioned before, Baba people are very religious. We have had our religious traditions and customs for more than 1,000 years. This can be proved by the number of temples in our country. The latest research from History Faculty, National University of Baba stated that the relics of our ancestors appeared on the islands has found 1,000 years ago. However, as we all know, Isla Island is quite far from our mainland, and that's the reason why our ancestors cannot build a temple such early time. Although Baba people clearly perceive our full sovereignty over Islam, we still let Taka people to fish such many years in order to maintain the good relation between the two countries. However, recently, Taka fishery is bringing about damage to our environment of the island, such as pollution and natural resource exhaustion.
Thank you. It's apparent to us that you have given no historical evidence to prove Baba's dominance over Isla Island. We would like to say that we fully recognize and respect Baba's long-lasting religious tradition, and we have no intention of hindering people of Baba from practicing religion. So we propose that Isla Island will be divided into 3 parts. People of Baba will have full access of 1/3, including your temple, and the other 2/3 will belong to Taka. Does this proposal seem appropriate regarding Baba interests?
Thank you, Mr. Meng. So you say that the other 2/3 belong to your country, but I hardly agree with your solution. As we have said in our opening statement, that because of religious reason, Baba have full sovereignty over Isla Island. But because of our fishing industry is underdeveloped and we want to maintain good relation with Taka, so we have let your people fish in the waters around Isla Island for thousands of years. However, we now would like to recommend some solution on sovereignty over Isla Island. We agreed to give Taka the right to fish in the waters around Isla Island, but Taka's government have to pay tax on property, on environment, and also people who fish in the waters around Isla Island have to pay boat landing fees. And Taka's government to lower to the fishery tax to 5% for Baba to import. That's all my argument on your solution.
Thank you. But we have to disagree with the article on your full sovereignty of the Isla Island. As our representative Chairman has said before, we're staying persistent with our promoters' suggestion in which we refer that the Isla Island will belong to our country with 2/3, and the rest, 1/3, will belong to your country, including the temple. In terms of various taxes that you have mentioned in your statement, I do not agree with the taxes on boat parking and using soil. As you may know, your citizens also travel to the island by different means of transportation, and most of them go by boat also. Therefore, there's no reason for us to be the only one who have to pay for the fees for parking boat, and I think it's not reasonable. Additionally, people visiting that temple also badly contribute to the island pollution, which leads to the death of thousands of fish around the island this year. So obviously, we cannot agree to pay taxes for using island resources. However, if you do so, we do too. Talking about the reducing tax on importing our fish, after a careful consideration, I accept to reduce 5% for your fish importing. And there is the maximum percent that we could offer as long as you also share 5% of your tourism tax with us. And with regard to environment conservation, I suggest that we share the fee to improve the quality of Isla Island, with half of the total fee annually will be carried out by Republic of Taka, our country, and the other half will be completed by Kingdom of Baba, your country. And we hope that together we will make the island great again.
Thank you for sharing your point. However, we hardly agree with the solution on sovereignty from Taka's representatives. It's obviously not fair for our country. I think Taka doesn't have enough authority to divide the island into two parts like this. Taka can show the proof of their sovereignty over Isla, and so can we. However, if sharing the benefits from Isla is the only way to satisfy both of us, I think a Taka proposal for economy and environment can be considered.
So I believe that neither of you could claim the sovereignty over the Isla Island without affecting the interests of each other. I suggest that Isla remain a non-sovereign island, and both countries should share the mutual interests from this island with one another. Do you agree?
Yes, we agree.
Do you agree, Baba?
Yes, we agree.
Now I would like to recap all of the agreed terms that we have negotiated today. First, Isla continues to be a non-sovereign island, and neither countries claim sovereignty over it. Second, Taka agreed to lower the fishery tax to 5% for Baba to import. Third, Baba committed to pay Taka 5% of their tourism tax. And last, two nations reached an agreement that both of them would share the environment fee to protect the natural atmosphere of Isla Island. On behalf of two delegations, I'm going to end our negotiation with a treaty.